right, my friends. Cue the comments. That music is too loud. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the weekly live stream. We are gonna show off a little bit of new tech tonight. I'm gonna show you some of the progress we have made, and we're gonna see if it's working like it should work. So what I'm working on right now is, actually I don't know what to call it yet, and I think this music is still a little bit too loud. Hang on. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, I think that should be good. Let me check the chat. Too loud. Yeah, no one's saying it. Okay. So what we're trying to do right now is, what I have seen being a problem is that trades will go, near the TP, and it will be like inches away from actually completing, and it just turns around and you get nothing. And that's one of the things I'm trying to fix right now. So once we get within a certain distance, we essentially lock in a stop loss behind the trade, so no matter what happens, we walk out with some profit. So we're gonna see if it works tonight. We're gonna see if it works. Technically, once it gets around here, it should activate. Let's keep an eye on this. Welcome to the live stream, guys. If you're just tuning in, tonight's gonna be epic. Just amazing. Transformative. So it should kick in now. The stop loss should move up behind the order now, but it's just too good. It just went straight to the TP instead. But yeah, that's what we're trying to do today. Might have to modify a little bit of code. So welcome to the live stream, everyone. It's good to be back. We have Amy Watson and Jimmy Harvey. They're probably gonna make some nice drink, food, some good music. So yeah, it's gonna be a good night. We're gonna talk about how you can get all the money you want, how it's just gonna happen, how it's literally just gonna come to you. Like it's just gonna appear. You understand? But you have to do the right things. So we're gonna talk about that, because once you realize that the true enemies in this world, they're not after your money. You understand? They don't need your money. What they need is, they need you to be addicted to money. They don't need money. They can print as much money as they need. They have an infinite money printer. It's no problem. Okay, it's just it's an illusion. No. What we need to understand is that these people, our enemies, yes, money is good to take away from you for them, but what's even better is like ruining your life. That's how these people feed on people, all right? Like, because what happens when people get trapped in these trading loops where they lose all their money is, everything gets worse. The relationship gets worse, their health gets worse, their mentality gets worse, everything gets worse. And the whole point is that there's a lesson in it. There's a lesson in it, and that lesson is to just stop manual trading. It's so powerful, it's like a spell. It's like it's people are completely hypnotized by trading, manual trading. You should stop manual trading. No manual trading anymore. Okay, we only And I think this is why financial markets is like one of their main weapons. Is because there's very few other tools in the world that really causes as much pain and damage to people as trading. And whenever damage is caused to people and they're trading, you know, they feel bad. They literally vibrate negative emotion around them, and this is very bad. So we have to fix that. We're gonna fix that. Okay, it's a problem when people are just like they're locked down on like the 1 minute time frame or 5 minute time frame, 15 minute time frame, and just they're not doing anything with their life except trading. We can't have that, guys. We gotta fix that. Okay, so that's what we're here to fix. The good news is that we have a very, very good idea how to fix it. I would say we already figured out like the main components to fixing it. So we just need, you know, the small things, the details, but we're getting there. And tonight we're gonna talk about the details. So let me show you what's cooking. Oh, CHF, JPY is cooking. So, you know, don't mind the view of the trend index. Okay, this is very much a product in development, and it's while we're working on it, while the team is working on this, it's, you know, it's not always going to be so pretty, right? Because we have to try new ideas, we have to do things, and the final result of what comes out of this is probably very different from what we're looking at right now. But let me explain what we have done. So let's look at Euro USD first. And don't worry if it looks confusing. I think it also looks confusing sometimes, but we actually need the data here. We need the data that we see here because we need to actually build this thing and make it work. So let me explain. What we have done is that we have added basically the full history of the financial markets, okay? So you can now look, we have it says 10 year here, but technically this goes back to, let's see, 2018. So what we're doing is we're bringing in as much data as we can. So we have a 1 year here, 2016. So it's not bad, it's about 9 years of data. 9 years of data if you live in the future. 7 years. It gives us a 7 years idea of what's been going on with Euro USD for the past time, and that's what we want. Let me zoom out so you understand this. Okay, so let's just get this out of here. So when we look at the Euro USD, okay, and I'll explain to you why this is important. When we look at this market as a whole and we look at its history, you can see that pretty much since 2008 this thing has been in a downtrend, and since 2016 it's still just been going down pretty much. So you can see this is 2016. You can see it had some bumps, but overall the thing has been going down, right? So the whole idea is that you don't need to zoom out anymore to understand what is the market doing right now. So we can move on to the 1 year, and the 1 year will give us data since 2020. So the 1 year is giving us the current idea of this market since 2020. And what we can do then is we can say, okay, well, now we know the 10-year history, we know the 5-year history. What does the 1 year history look like? So we can zoom in and we can look at the 1 year. You can see we have, this one says 1 month, but it's actually a year, full data we have here, okay? So you can see we had this downtrend which came to an end somewhere, what is this? When is this? Around October, November last year, something like this, right? Then this downtrend came to an end and we had these upturns. You can see the first one was significantly stronger than the second one and the third one. This is all kind of analysis we can do on this. That's really fruitful, that's really helpful for us to understand, okay? So we have the 1 month, we can go down to the 1 day. So we can see, okay, since, what is this? Since May, right? So there's a couple of months of history. 4 months of history, we can see what's been happening here. And this happens all the way down. It filters all the way down. What is the idea? The idea is that we're tracking essentially the different selling and buying algorithms across all the frequencies from 10 year, 5 year, 1 year, 1 month, 1 day, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, the drive, right? And what it will allow us to do is to build a complete model that renders in real time and tells us exactly what is this market doing right now. So that's what we're working on right now. And we're gonna have that soon. I think we're gonna have a very cool release here in September. Okay, so we understand the 10 year, the 1 year, the 1 month, the 1 day, and we can keep going down. So what's interesting now is that, when you look at the 1 month, you can see that we had this uptrend here since, November last year, right? Which came to an end. Well, that's the question, when did it come to an end? So let's zoom in, right? When we zoom in, you can see this is the same trend that it's talking about, right? So we had this move here since October, and just now it's coming to an end. So it gives you a very good understanding, okay? Like our technology in real time can extract and tell us what kind of buying algorithm or selling algorithm that's active here, and we have a very good understanding of it. And when we understand the current active algorithm, and we understand how it plays out, that algorithm versus the rest of the active algorithms, we have this complete picture of what's going on right now. So what we can see now is, for example, this 10-year trend coming to an end. That's what I would say. Because you can see the first time we had this, it was just a little bit of downturn, right? It's basically this. And then we had this, and we had this, and you can see it looks very different this time. And it's also because that the selling algorithm that we're registering this time are much stronger than what we saw in the past. And you can also see what's really interesting is how basically how this move here against the overall trend, right? How this 1 year move against the overall 5 year and 10 year trend really is just like a deviation inside the market, right? It's just a temporary stronger buying algorithm that usually activates. That's really what it is. It's just on a 1 year basis or 10-month basis or whatever you want to call it. And that's our job, to create a model that can handle this in real time. That's what we're doing. So when we so now I hope you understand. We have all these frequencies or time frames across the market. We are mapping out buying and selling algorithms in real time. And we really and we have a very good idea when these buying and selling algorithms stop being active. For example, I want you to have a look here. If you have a look at, for example, the 15 minute, you can see we have this big spike in volatility here. And let me see if I can find a better example. Let me see if I can find a little bit better example. Yeah, we'll just do this. We have a spike in volatility here, and you can see it spikes the 15-minute strength. But the amount of time that the strength actually lasts is much longer, right, than just a spike. And that's because this is essentially like an injection, a liquidity injection, if you will. And this is what we're picking up with RTD. So the volatility we're seeing coming in, we register that and basically maps it out across. If you imagine, orders up here and here, like a classic ask and bid book, that's basically where we're filling it in and understand where we can expect these algorithms that has provided liquidity to step back in. It works pretty well. Oh, we're making money here. What's happening? So is the stop loss thing working? Let's have a look. That feeling that's been gone for way too long. See, this is exactly where it should kick in. So why is it not kicking in, huh? Let's go have a look at the lock. Maybe we need to stop. It's just what is happening here. And let the music take control. Okay, well, anyway, you get the point. So if we close this panel and we just look at the new trend index, what we're really doing is essentially taking all that complex stuff. We're trying to make it as simple as possible to understand. And in the future, you're not going to have all these time frames. You're just going to have like short-term, long-term, whatever. This is just a development view. But what we are doing, what we have already done, is start to map these buying and selling algorithms as they come online, and we compare them to the previous buying and selling algorithms that was active in the market. So we have an understanding of how powerful are these. It's really our first step towards mapping these buying and selling algorithms in a much more detailed fashion, where we can really have a good understanding of what are we actually dealing with here, and how does this liquidity impact all the other markets under the same risk group. So yeah, guys, welcome to the live stream tonight. There's a bunch of people in the chat. I haven't said hello, but hello to everyone. John Murray and great tunes. I agree. These guys are great. These guys, they deserve all the fame. Who else do we have? Ace D, welcome, Kian Sang and Neil and Kaitsun, PK, Martin, Daniel, Jan, Pilo, Delutzo again. No, not again. Daniel, good to see you, Daniel. Edison, Ulisse, and David and Sanya and Paul and Monty, Liam. Tracy Bone is HM, right? I think it is. I think Tracy Bone is HM. Okay, welcome to the talks. So okay. It's really not hitting the TP, huh? Okay. Anyway, at least it's fucking working. So the subject of this is how to make unlimited money from trading. How to make unlimited money from trading. So let me explain it. Let me explain this. How to make unlimited money in trading. First of all, you have to stop losing money. Okay? Because if you don't stop losing money, it doesn't matter how much fucking money you make. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to say fuck. I mean, I'm trying to reduce the amount of fucks. Whatever. First, you need to stop losing money. This is really the problem. The problem is you give people $10,000 and they're gonna lose it no matter what. Either fast or slow, they will lose it. Why will they lose it? Because it's the thing is rigged to make you poor and take your money. All right. So first we need to just like we have to stop playing the game. Okay? We have to step out of the fucking rat race. That's the first step. Because if you don't stop, if you don't plug this hole, if you don't fix this problem of losing money in trading, it doesn't matter how much fucking money you make, because you're just gonna fucking lose it. And this is the same for the people, you know, who hasn't even gotten rich in their life yet. Like the people who haven't even become rich the first time yet. So why do I say it like this? I say it because everyone who gets rich the first time lose the same money again, because it's an experience. You need to learn how to hold on to the money. You need to learn how to be rich. And that's a completely different category. Just getting $1 million is like, you know, you're like, you think you're set for life, you're not. $1 million, I think it almost makes your life worse. I know you can use the money to fix some problems, but it's difficult. So first of all, we have to understand that if we want to get rich, we have to stop losing money. How to stop losing money? Well, if you're losing money to trading, Neural is your way out to stop that, right? That's the first step. Now, the second step is to understand that there's only like a max amount of money that you can squeeze out of the markets today and tomorrow and the day after. But you can keep squeezing this money, you can keep making this money every day for the rest of your life. It's not gonna be as much as you want, but it's gonna be what you need. Okay? This is really important because the reason the financial markets work so well against humans is that humans, especially now with Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all the social media that makes you want things fast without having to work for it, it's a very dangerous place to be in the financial markets, because it will just It will give you some small wins to make you believe this is going to be your future, and then it will spend the next 5 years to just take everything from you. That's really how it works. So first we have to step out of this shit. Now, every day you can make a consistent amount of money. Every day you can consistently make a solid amount of money. This is really the goal, and you can keep compounding that money, and that can work for you. But the real deal here is to realize that you need to go out, make more money, and give it to Nero. Okay, that's the way you're really gonna get rich. Because once you start, first of all, you need to understand that while you're being farmed in financial markets and they're taking the money from you, you are not capable of breaking your existing environment and addictions and problems that you're in. So while you are doing manual trades, while anyone is stuck in, they're never going to ascend. They're never going to reach a higher consciousness. They're never going to get anywhere. It will be the devil in their life that's going to keep them in the spot. Okay? And this it's really important to understand, because you think you're going to get rich from trading. And I'm not saying you're not going to get rich from it, but it's not going to happen in like a big trade or something like this. This is all asking for troubles. The way it's going to happen is that you're going to have technology that consistently works for you and can compound your money better than anything else in the world. It's going to do it fast, but not as fast as you want. Now you need to go out and make more money. First of all, you have escaped trading, meaning that you're no longer spending time in front of the screen. You're no longer spending time in front of the financial markets and just, being on 1 minute time frame, 15-minute time frame, and just stuck without any opportunity to reflect on your life and where you can go from here, right? So first is like, we need to cut that shit. Once you cut that shit, maybe you can find some inner peace. We need to start working on our meditation, right? This sounds, I know it sounds cheesy. It's not that I'm an expert at it at all, but this is really necessary, because you gotta find out what you want in life. You gotta find out what is your calling here in life, and you have one. So once you're done and you have freed your soul, and your soul has room to grow because you're no longer a trading addict, that's where things are gonna start to make sense. That's where things are gonna start to become magical for you, okay? Whatever it is you want, it will happen. Literally, it's gonna happen to you. And it's not gonna come in the way you expect. If you thought you're gonna get rich from trading, no. If you know you're gonna get rich, if you have always known inside of you that something is gonna come to you, you're gonna do well something, it will. But you need to allow it to happen, right? You need to, if you don't, if you go fishing and you never put bait out, right? You never throw out the lure, right? If you go fishing and you never do any throws, you're never gonna catch anything. So you need to put yourself in a position where at least the fucking universe can send something to you. You're not, it's not just gonna be a fucking envelope of money that's gonna land, in your mail and you have $10,000. No, but it's something like that will happen, but not that way. You need to allow the universe to actually send you a fucking gift, okay? You need to put yourself out there where you actually have an opportunity to receive it. You will never receive it while you're stuck in front of a 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, trading screen and just doing directional trading. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. You need to know what it is you want to do in life, and you need to have a good intention of what it is you're gonna do. Once you start radiating a good intention, it's just gonna come to you. It will just come to you. This is really important, okay? And all that money that's gonna come to you, if you were inexperienced rich, meaning you haven't been rich before, and you get rich the first time, after the universe finally serves you like a nice big dish, you get your $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, whatever it is you have in mind, you get it. Well, if you don't know how to handle this money, you will get fucked. This is what happens to everyone. Everyone I know, all the rich people I know, including myself, everyone gets fucked the first time. So this is really important. It's really important to understand. So the whole point, where does Nero fit into your life? Nero fits into your life so that when you get rich, you're not gonna throw it all away to manual trading. And you have no idea how many people lose all their money to trading. And it's like, it doesn't matter if it's $100 million, if it's $1 billion. There was a fucking guy, what was his name? Huang. What was his fucking name? What was his fucking name? Bill Huang? Bill Huang Trader? This guy? Where's this motherfucker? Wait, there he is. There we fucking go. That's your fucking guy. Okay? It's your fucking guy. This guy's strategy for 20 years of trading was just margin long while just marching along every single dip. And of course it worked because of the monetary policies, just printing money, so it worked for some time. And eventually he got a huge margin call of $20 billion because he never learned the real lesson of leverage. And what is the real lesson of leverage? The real lesson of leverage is that you must understand that the only way that you can work in these markets is by reducing your leverage and trading outside the price volatility envelope where the price can't really reach you. And of course, this only works if you actually know, like, long term, where's this market heading. If you don't know where the market is heading long term because you have bad technology, if you don't know, you can't do this, right? So you have to know where's the market heading. So you know that this flow, this liquidity will come back and will move the market in your direction, no matter how much time you need to wait. Okay, so no more manual trading, no more shitcoin investing. All this is done. We need to prepare you to get fucking rich. If we don't prepare you to get rich, then when it comes to you, and it will come to you, it will come to you. As long as your intention is honest, the universe will make it work for you. It's crazy, but it works. It's real. So this is really the main point here. The main point is that most of these traders and most of these people in life, they never get past the lesson of learning, how to handle money, how to responsibly invest, and how not to get scammed by these financial markets. Let me check the chat. Yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream. It's good to see you. Okay. That's really how I see it. I really see it this way. Like, do you really think? Like, just think about it. Let's just say that the crazy alien stuff and divine fate and that's all a plan. It's all real and so on. Let's just assume it's real. Okay. Do you really think in this version of the universe that you're gonna make it, that you will get everything you want in life from sitting in front of a screen doing the most soul-sucking activity of directional trading on low time frames? No, it's like a hell. It really is like a hell. I don't know how much new people know about how much I traded, but from 2017 to probably 2020, I probably have something like 6,000 or 7,000 hours of screen time in front of the screen. And I remember it clearly. It's really not something you want for anyone. It's not a position that's gonna get people anywhere in life. Look, it just, I think there's a lesson there, but I also think that some people never get over this lesson. And I think these people are so stuck that maybe they're not supposed to get it. I don't know. But I think you guys get it. All right, let's go back to how are we doing here? Is this thing printing? Is it on? Seems so. Okay. Let me see, let me check the questions if there's some questions I've missed here. Otherwise, put some questions in the chat, guys. Trailing stop function explained in the session. Trailing stop explained in the session. Hang on. So trailing stop, we have it here, trailing stop. What is the idea? The idea behind the trailing stop is that once the price basically has, if you put 15, then once the pips is 15 pips away from the price in profit, it'll put a trailing stop. But it seems to be a little bit of a bug right now where sometimes it's like enabling the trailing stop, but then it takes it off and it goes back to TP. I don't know. Either way, I don't think we're going to be using it for much longer. I expect us to basically build in a trailing stop strategy. So I don't think it's going to be really necessary. But if you want to use it, you can try 15. 15 seems to be okay. But honestly, it really depends on the market environment. Like if we are getting very strong markets, if the markets are very strong, you don't want this tight trailing TP because you will lose money on it. That's what we saw. I mean, not lose money. You'll make less money. You'll make less money than what you could make. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Uh-huh. Okay. Steve says he traded 20 hours a day Bitcoin. That sounds good. I bet that was a lot of fun. Let me see. Let me see here. David Lowe is asking why I have different values on the trend index. That's because this is not the same trend index that you have, David. This is something in the works. I have a question about how much money we need to deposit at start. I saw your video on the prop firm, so you won't recommend using it with a prop firm if we don't have enough capital. Yeah, I don't know how many saw my prop firm video, but it was kind of funny what happened. It was pretty funny. I saw the stuff come out, and I saw the announcement from the CEO, and I googled around and I checked the regulators' website. I couldn't find anything from the regulators, so I really thought that this man was just like exit scamming. This my Forex funds guy was exit scamming his user. But it's funny because I've been saying this for years, or months at least, that this is not a good approach at all. Unfortunately, it's a scam. Like the prop firms accounts are, I would say, 100% scam. Yeah, it's really unfortunate because people can't see it, and I guess the reason they can't see it is because they haven't seen how it works on the back end. Like they haven't seen how it actually works behind the scene. I'll tell you how ours was set up. So we opened BFT funding with the idea of creating a brokerage. The idea was creating a brokerage so that users could pay for the subscription by trading through us. This was the initial idea. While creating it, we met with the MetaQuotes people and discussed with them, and they suggested that why don't we just start with a prop firm before we get the license for full brokerage? And I thought that's pretty interesting. So we went ahead with it. And my conclusion after running it for 2 years is that it's unethical. It's probably legal, but it's unethical. It's much worse than any live trading account. And the reason it's much worse than any live trading account is because when you're trading with a real broker that's ECN connected, you have to understand there's a lot of different businesses that has a need to execute forex. So many of these businesses actually work with, for example, big brokers to do hedging on products or sales or something like this. Let's say they have a company, they can use it, they can do it themselves, they can have a bank to do it from, it really depends on the size of the organization. But what it means is that there's fundamental business clients. There's clients using these ECN brokers that requires the ECN brokers to deliver a certain environment that's acceptable. And this means, reasonable spreads, reasonable execution, reasonable slippage, and good uptime. They cannot shut you down if you're using an EA. Their entire business model compared to the brokerage and the prop firms is completely different. Because of how these prop firms are structured, I never really understood it. I never really understood why these prop firms had first you have a trial, then you do a verification, and then you get your live trading account. I never really understood. So when we launched the prop firm, we were like, okay, let's remove all the rules. Let's just try to make it as fair as possible. The idea was really to find people that were successful traders that we could really give money to trade. And I also had several guys trading at one point, but it doesn't work long term. It's not about the tools really. It's that humans in itself cannot over a sustained time keep performing. It just doesn't work. So while it's a very profitable business, it's super unethical, and it's you can remove all the rules. You can remove everything, and you don't need any of these rules. People will lose without any of these rules. So it's grotesque to see all these rules that all these different prop firms are using to stop out their traders, and it's really not necessary. It's really not necessary to do, because the amount of people that loses will easily cover the people that get a payout once or twice. But the reality that it just doesn't work. So what we learned, was very important information, because what we learned as well was that basically how the entire Metacross infrastructure and traders and execution and all this works. And because we know how this works now, it also means we could design much better technology to take advantage of their infrastructure. So we have a very good understanding of how it works. I don't regret at all having this, prop funding experience and so on. What I wish was that we had discovered earlier, really how unethical it was. But honestly, it is a hard world to navigate when you don't understand what's going on. It's easy to grow up in this world and think everything is corrupt and there's no good and there's no higher meaning, there's no purpose in life, there's nothing, nothing you do has any long-term impact or meaning, and then figure out that it's just totally not true. And everything you do have meaning. All good decisions you do are good, And once you realize that there's so much more to it, and you realize, the problems that people face besides trading, there's only really one right decision, and that is to help people with this shit. Because people are stuck in trading. And like I said, they lose. 99.9% lose. We have data on this. We have data on over 100,000 traders. And we know the truth. So this is also why it's so, they make so good money. Anyway, I've explained this long enough. Stop using prop funding accounts, because the environment you trade in is completely different from a real environment it's also not real money that you trade with. And even if you do make it, they can just make up some bullshit excuse anytime to shut you down, and they will, and they do. Because their core business model of prop firms is not to find profitable traders. The core business model of prop firms is simply to counter trade everyone that buys it. Because it seems that the people buying prop funding accounts are not like the sharpest people around. So it's like a product targeted, you know, people that's not so sharp, and it's a shame. It's a shame. So PK's Kevin Yang is asking, it's hard to fill orders in a trending market, trying to hit 1% an hour. Okay, so you know, this is doable, but you have to understand that there's better times to trade when you're doing it manually than others. So you want to cut out like a nice time, you know, after the US session opens, sit down and work with it for 1 or 2 hours, and then you want to step off. It is very doable to do 1% an hour, but you also need, you know, you need some pretty good markets, and you need to stay awake, and you have to do it manually. It's hard, you know, it's tough. But I have earlier live YouTube videos where I did it earlier this year, and you can see how I went about it. And if you have to trade manually because you can't afford the bot, if it's too expensive, this is still the best strategy you can use. And the reason it's the best strategy that you can use is because it's inherently the best way to extract money from the market going up and down, right? Because the whole point, the reason that all these traders get stopped out, the reason that all these traders lose, is because they're trading with these stop losses inside of a market that has a wide range. You can see this market here right now, for example. It has, you know, it has this range going from, yeah, basically from the top to the bottom here, which is very wide, right? So if you have a stop loss within any of this, within any of, you will get stopped out eventually, right? And that shouldn't happen. You should not get stopped out of a trade when you are, you know, directionally correct where it's gonna go. It's a big mistake. So people need to understand that these stop losses, you know, and it's so funny because it's one of the first things they tell you when you come into trading, is that you must trade with a stop loss. And I have said it myself in the past, but oh boy, you know, I've been wrong so many times in the past. I've been wrong my whole life. It's like I'm so used to being wrong, and I don't mind it. But what I was telling people in the past was that they need a stop loss, but also the stop loss needed to be a place where, you know, they wouldn't be stopped out without being wrong. So the next step, of course, is to move the stop loss, remove the stop loss. But how can you remove the stop loss and still trade with inside the range? Well, the way to do that is that you size your position size way down. So each trade where you're getting in and out, while you're staying protected by a very large 4-hour stop loss like down here, you know, when you move the stop loss down there to make sure you have a black swan protection in case that there's a black swan event, right? You want to make sure that you don't lose more than, you have a good idea of what you're going to lose, 15%, 30%, right? So that's why we have the 4-hour stop loss. It's a black swan protection event. It's only really supposed to be hit in a black swan event. So the whole point is, when the stop loss is down here and you have, it makes the trades that you can take up here tiny. And that means when you are sitting there as a manual trader doing these trades, you will not get that much. It's really something you get from doing a lot of, like, it's a lot of trades you need to do. And that's it. You're just gonna do a lot. What I will say is that we have a new plan for the neural trading agent that's coming out soon. that will be much cheaper, significantly cheaper, but also with reduced, reduced options, like reduced, less markets you can trade and some limitations and so on. But we will have a significantly cheaper plan because, I mean, this stuff is not cheap to develop, it's not cheap to run. So we do have to charge what we have to charge, but I recognize we can make a cheaper product with the same quality and a reduced limitation of how much it can trade while keeping the price low and keeping our existing users happy. The last thing I want to do is to drop like a light neural agent, at a very low price that makes, what can you say, the full subscription worthless. So that's not going to happen. We're going to price this fairly so it makes sense. But we have to help people. We gotta get people to stop spending all that time in front of the screen and clicking all these buttons. We gotta get people to look at this. That looks so nice. It's a nice dog as well. I always wanted like a golden. Is that a retriever? Is that a Labrador? I think it's a retriever. Yeah, I always wanted a dog like that. It's a very nice dog. Looks chill. Okay, so let's have a look at the chat. Jason asked, in all seriousness, what risk should we use for drawdown? Well, it depends how big your account is and how much risk you're willing to take. If you have a, let's say $10,000 account, but you make $5 million a year, then you can easily, put 40% risk or even 50% risk because, it's not a problem for you to stomach a 50% drawdown on 10K because you have a huge inflow of money, right? But let's say you only have $5,000 in your name and you want to take $1,000 and put it in, then it's gonna be rough to see 10% of your net worth go down if you use 50% risk. So the amount of risk you're willing to take, and so it really depends on what the money is to you, right? That's the best answer I can give on that. Maximum pairs, I mean, it also goes hand in hand with the balance. If you only have $1,000 account, you should only trade one market or two market at the time. If you have a $10,000 account, you can easily trade 5, 6, 7, 8 markets at the time. It also depends on the leverage, how much leverage your trading account has. So keep that in mind. What is happening here? We're printing. Look at that. See, this is where the stop loss should kick in, It should be right here, but it doesn't work. So I have to get back to work. What is my opinion on turning on... What is my opinion on turning on CHF JPY? Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look using the new tools. CHF JPY. All right, so what do we want to do? We want to check the long-term trend. The 10-year trend look good. The 1-year trend look good. The 1-month trend look good. The 1-day trend has room to increase, and yeah, looks interesting. The 4-hour, I think this is gonna come back. I think this is coming back right now, actually. So yeah, I think this looks fine. I think it looks fine, but is there a better alternative? You always gotta ask yourself, is there a better alternative to deploy your risk on, right? So we look at JPY. It's still a bit early. You can give it a shot, but just keep in mind, whenever you take these markets with less strength, it's like, if it fails, if the current drive, right? If this current drive that's happening here fails, you're gonna wait, you might wait a long time to get, back at break even. So that is the risk. of taking these trades with a low strength. What is happening here? Is my, oh, now it's negative? Oh, Lord. Okay. Let's see. Kim and Yang, have I backtested the risk reward of Neo's strategy? Yes. You can go to Breakfree Trading, trading.com/backtest results. I'm putting it in the chat. You can also go to the YouTube channel, go to live, and you can find like some backtest videos I did earlier on earlier live streams, and I explain more about the backtest and neural and HITL. Cool music. Look at them, they're just having a party. Look, the fishing looks amazing here. Look at that. It reminds me of Alaska. I bet you could just throw out like bait or like, you know, a little bit of fly fishing. Some nice trouts. Okay, back to back to chat. Let me see. We're almost out of time, guys. Get your last questions in. Okay, Jason is asking, what's the difference on trading 1 to 2 pairs, for example, with 50% drawdown maximum, and trading 10 to 20 pairs with a 50% drawdown? Maybe you should mention your account size, because you can't trade 10 to 20 pairs with $1,000. It's not gonna work. It's gonna skip the orders. Okay, so before we finish up this live stream, hello, everyone tuning in late to the live stream. Well, guys, we only got 10 minutes left, so I'm gonna answer the questions you have. Jeff is asking, have you ever seen a prop challenge being passed with your automation? I think some have done it already, but the problem is that they're gonna shut you down. They will say something about, oh, the bot is using too many orders, or it's sending too many orders, or they will make up some excuse. They will shut you down. They will shut you down. You can try, but they will shut you down. Like there is a way to beat it. The way to beat it is to go to your neural settings and let's see here. You want to change the update interval to like 2 or 3 minutes. Then you want to set execution mode to market to stealth, and then yeah, update interval, and probably change this change this minimal points of price shift 6 or 9. Because what you want to do is you want to reduce requests. Okay, you want to reduce the amount of requests you send to the server. Or you can do it manually. You can execute it manually. Can try. I mean, it should work. It's just my point is realizing that prop firms is a scam. It's just like the first step. Okay, like it's just like the first step we need to get you to. Okay, because once you realize, oh, you have a working strategy, it actually works, it generates you money. Now you're able to beat the prop firms. Once you then go to the prop firms and you try to use it, they will shut you down eventually, okay? And then you realize, oh, so they only let you trade with the strategy that makes you lose. That's the only strategies let you trade with, yeah. So once you realize that, you're like, oh, it's a fucking scam. It's a fucking scam. So once you realize this is a scam, you will move on to creating a personal trading account. And yeah, you're gonna need like $1,000, $1,500 to get started. It's true. And that's the whole point. It's like, oh, but I need so much money. I can just buy a prop funding account for $100 instead. Yes, but it's not real. It's much better to take those $100, save it up, and just go work your ass off and put together $1,000 or $1,500, okay? Once you do this, that's the time to work with Nero. Put Nero to work, let it do its thing. Meanwhile, you go out and make more money. You need to find a way to make money, and then Nero will take care of compounding your money, okay? But the main step is really for you to realize that prop firms is a scam. You're not going to be able to realize that prop firms is a scam until you have a trading strategy that works. So I know where you are. And the reason I know where you are is because I ran this shit, okay? It's like, I ran this shit, okay? So I know where you are. You're not gonna realize it's a scam until you have a profitable trading strategy. You're gonna get a profitable trading strategy with Nero, okay? So you can go, and I hope you make it work, but I wish you would take that time instead and or that money instead and put it into a trading account and trade Nero with that, okay? Even if it's just $100, you will be much better off trading $100 Nero manual mode than trading with a prop firm. Because you don't have to pass the trial and the verification and all the bullshit, and no one is gonna call you up and say, hey motherfucker, we know that you just made 10% profit this month, but we're not gonna give it to you because you used a bot. It's fucking stupid. So yeah, stop this shit. Okay. You need $1,500, I would say, for the automation to be worth it. But we do have a new plan, a cheap plan for Nero agent coming out with limited amount of markets you can trade, okay? So just stay tuned and you can get that. It will probably be out this month, okay? But until then, do the manual Nero strategy because it really is sound. And the reason it's sound is because it's using our technology to detect buying and selling algorithms in real time in the financial market. And this shit works. That's how we know when to stop trading a market and when to start trading it. That's the cool thing about this tech. You know, this is like the stuff that I always dreamed about having when I was a trader. I always dreamed about having this shit, you know? Like the whole point is that you can see these long-term trends, how they fade, and then short-term trends come in, and they tell you before it happens. It tells you this in real time as it's fading, as trading algorithms fade. And then it's your job to stop trading it before it fades too much, so you don't get caught, right? You don't want to get caught here. Okay. Let me have a look in some other chats. Kaitsu is asking, when is next update? Soon. We got a killer update this month. Do you think there'll ever be a time where the agent will be able to do everything without the human? Yes, of course. Yes. Hey, Cat Key. Listen. 3 months ago, we were sitting, updating Nero agent. Oh, what happened to the music? That's too early. We were updating Nero agent orders automatically. I mean, manually. Everyone was doing it. And now we have transcended into this automation that updates it. So yes, it's just the next step. You know, we already have complete automation for a Nero agent to trade. It's just that people wanted to trade more often than it wants to trade right now with the current backtest and the results we have. So, of course, it's our job to make a trade all the time. That's what we're working on, and we're getting pretty close. So just stay tuned. Let's move on. 100k demo. I'm testing stuff, but I have 5 to. Okay. Well, Jason, just keep testing your stuff and apply these advices I gave you. I think there's a lot of Americans just tuning in right now. Let's have a look. Okay, let's take the last questions, guys. So how does it work? Well, if we take Eero. Oh, something else. What do we have?
If I had the gift of
let's see. What do we have? A good example. Mike is asking about the volatility, how I'm using it. It's more like for developing view. Don't worry too much about it, Mike. Okay, guys, we're gonna round this up. Jeff is asking, what self-funded account size would you consider high enough to? I think I covered this already. $1,000 to $1,500. How can a citizen of the USA? What just happened? Did we just print? Some news just came out?
waves 10. What is it?
Not bad.
What will it be? Waves 10. What is it? What will it be? Waves 10.
I don't even know what's going on, guys.
Is it?
Like I'm barely here right now. It's all happening. Well, it looks like we just fucking printed or what? What the fuck? All right, guys, it's getting late here. It's 9 o'clock. This looks great, but the different percentages in front of the different levels is the current strength for that market. This is crazy. What is the news, guys? I guess I'm gonna find out. Huh. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming to the live stream tonight. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to leave a comment below, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you again next week. Take care, my friends. Have a good one. And don't forget to look up your ancient Sumerian history. Peace out.